Well, it's Christmas time, and you know what that means. It's time for us to watch some Christmas things, starting off with my personal all-time favorite TV show, Bojack Horseman, and its Christmas special, Bojack Horseman Sabrina's Christmas Wish. Now, I've wanted to talk about this episode for some time, because it's kind of a weird case. Now, to start off with, Netflix has made this separate from the rest of the series, so you have 6 seasons of Bojack Horseman, and then this Christmas special episode that came out a little bit after the first season. The first season aired in, I believe, August of 2014. This aired in December of 2014. So it was still kind of part of things, but they chose not to include it with the series, which was kind of strange. But once you see the episode, it kind of makes sense. It's really bizarre, and there's no real place where to put it in terms of the series itself. Meaning that if you were to take this episode and try to fit it into, like, the continuity of the show from season 1 to 6, that wouldn't work. So it's separate, and on top of that, it's kind of hard to find on Netflix. It gets a little bit buried. However, I did learn that if you search Horsing Around on Netflix, you can find the fake sitcom Horsing Around, and it just shows you a little VHS-looking theme song for that show with Bojack Horseman and Herb Kazaz and all of that in the credits on the Netflix page. Really cool little Easter egg, but it's kind of hard to find. But once you find it, then you can watch it, and you know it's on Netflix, so it just takes a smidge of digging. I had a little bit of trouble getting this one to show up on my search for some reason. But now that it's all ready to be watched, it's time to watch it. And frankly, this episode's a little bit bizarre. It's about Bojack and Todd spending some time together on Christmas and watching an episode of Horsing Around called Sabrina's Christmas Wish. Now, it is legitimately like a 90s sitcom episode with its own little Bojack spin to it. It feels like a parody of that really family-centric 90s sitcom kind of era, and it works pretty well. It's not incredibly funny, and it doesn't do a whole lot with parodying 90s family-centric cartoons. It doesn't go too far in any areas and get really crazy with it. What it really feels like is a mix between an homage and a parody. There's definitely that parody essence there with Bojack and Todd watching it and occasionally riffing on it, being confused about some of the weird tropes that are no longer relevant today, having someone in the audience yelling just bizarre things because it's making fun of the live studio audience factor of those old TV shows. There is some stuff there that works for it, but at the same time, this episode works so well as one of those corny 90s sitcom Christmas specials that I feel like it's kind of dipping its toes into two different pools, if that makes sense, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think so. It's just a strange thing, because all in all, this as an episode of Bojack Horseman, it makes like zero sense. You don't know what to think, and that's why it's separate from everything else. It's just something that's there for fans of the show, and it's there for around Christmas time for those fans of the show. All in all, it's just a bizarre kind of mixed thing that gives us a glimpse at the TV show Bojack was a part of, while also making fun of that era of TV shows, but doing a really good job of representing what those TV shows were like Home Improvement or Fresh Prince or Full House or Family Matters, whatever it turns out to be. It fit pretty well. I've watched my fair share of 90s sitcoms, thank you very much, and I felt like this worked as one of those episodes with its own little spin on it. However, there's this one really strange part where Bojack's talking about Santa Claus to Sarah Lynn, and it's very clear that they're drawing the line to God with it. It says things like Santa works in mysterious ways. If Sabrina starts praying to Santa not to kill the people she loves. It's really bizarre, and that's why I think this episode is kind of removed from everything else. It just doesn't really make sense as an episode of anything, which, I guess that kind of works for a sitcom. Back in the 90s, they were really kind of nonsensical at times, but this is a whole new level of nonsensical. It's like this little glimpse into this TV show that Bojack was a part of, but it should have stayed as a little glimpse. I don't think we needed a full episode because that made for just a bizarre encounter, at least in my opinion. It's hard for me to tell what I think of this episode of Bojack Horseman, although I can strongly say it's not bad. There's nothing like horribly egregious about it. It's definitely not good. It's just an episode. And I like that corny 90s sitcom vibe, and I like the little Christmas feeling, you know, get you in the Christmas spirit. It's an overall fine episode, but I see why it's separated from the rest of the show, because it doesn't hold a candle to even the worst episode of Bojack Horseman. So maybe that makes this the worst episode of Bojack Horseman? I don't know. Hey, Bojack's my favorite show of all time, so if the worst episode is something removed from it, that feels like cheating a little bit. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not a bad episode. It's just a nothing episode that no one really asked for or needed. Merry Christmas, I guess. If you're a big fan of Bojack Horseman and you haven't seen this for some reason or want any excuse to put yourself in the Christmas spirit while also checking out this TV show, it's a nice little gateway for that. But all in all, this is nothing. This is a nothing Christmas episode. And I really am kind of surprised. Having watched it a good number of times, it's just blandly nothing. If I had to give it a score out of 10, just a nice even 5. No problem there whatsoever. It's my favorite TV show of all time, Bojack Horseman. The Christmas special, not too hot, gonna admit it. Not too good, not too bad, just right there, smack dab in the middle. Should you check it out this Christmas? Only if you haven't seen it, because frankly, if you're a fan of Bojack Horseman and you haven't seen this is more Bojack Horseman to watch, and that'll at least be something. Consider it a Christmas present from Mr. Cow, but don't get angry at me when it's not that great, because I don't know you very well. That being said, thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you thought of this bizarre episode down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. I read every single comment on this channel, so do not be shy. Yours will not be overlooked. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.